Hello, John.
Hello, Marva.
Yes, so today we're going to talk about the decline in Ireland's tourism industry. Ireland's tourism industry is facing a tough 2025. Tourist arrivals are down 18% in the first 4 months of the year, with 3.5 million visitors so far, below 2024 and only level with 2023. Revenues from Britain, France, and Germany have fallen by more than 50% as fewer visitors arrive, and those who do are spending less money. The US market is holding up better, with most Americans viewing Ireland as a place for value for money. Um, so, Tourism Ireland now faces a challenge marketing Ireland as affordable, accessible, and worth visiting in the middle of a global cost of living crisis. So, what's your solution, sir? Or do you have any?
The first thing is that Ireland has many great attractions for the visitor.
Yeah,
It is a green and pleasant land with mountains, lakes, and scenery that surpasses anything I've ever seen. For example, in Holland, the highest mountain is only 312 feet high. So it's a flat country. So when you come here, it's like coming into heaven.
yeah,
That's one example. People from Britain and but people from the United States, which is further away, are quite satisfied with the value and the benefits of the country that it has to offer. Which means that the ones from Europe are in some ways a cranky bunch, and they demand maybe too much. There's only so much a country can offer. Now, we do have the problem that hotels and other places are full of asylum seekers. So that means the availability of hotels is limited, and hence it might mean a price hike because the competition is not good enough. And I think in other countries, hotels are even more expensive than here. So, from the point of view of that, we're probably competitive. Dublin is more expensive, but not many people stay there too long. They visit the west of Ireland, where they visit Kerry quite a lot, and they visit places of historical interest. Now, we have so many things to offer here, at least and the holy wells and the historic sites of monasteries where they were before they were destroyed by the English. We have such a more history here than I think in any other country in Europe. There's no other country in Europe that I'm aware of that has mass rocks or that has holy wells. So these are the things to promote. And we certainly, the Christian TV Ireland, when we're able to be established, to be able to reach a wider audience, that's what we will promote. We won't be promoted from an advertising point of view. We will promote it as a destination well worth visiting. And people that have apparently the growth in tourism comes from people that are looking for Christian sites to uplift their spirit, which is why in Spain this um, big part James's Way or what have you. A lot of people go there that might, are looking for a spiritual kind of something to uplift themselves. But we have pilgrim paths here far more superior and less hazardous than what's in Spain with the heat and perhaps moisture. We don't have that problem. So between the pilgrim paths, the Mass Rocks, the Holy Wells, the scenery, you couldn't surpass it. And the beauty that we saw when we were visiting Derrynane, where the famous liberator Daniel O'Connell did such great work in getting Catholics to be able to practice the Catholic faith without being having to get mass on mass rocks and persecuted. So against the might of the British Empire, he did that great work. So there's so much here to see, and we noticed when we were down there, three quarters of the visitors from other jurisdictions. And what I did notice was that the value for what you were having as regards food was dreadful, and too expensive. It wanted to be more widened to give a proper meal at a reasonable price to people and stop trying to make too much profit. I think of the tourists and the fact that they've come this distance, and wherever there are restaurants catering for locals and visitors then in the summer, have value. I mean, you can still make a profit and give employment, and people then go back and you get more visitors. Now, you mentioned a decline from some countries and some dissatisfaction, and they're not spending as much. Well, then there's something wrong with them in some ways because when you come to a country, I know if you go as a tourist to France, you're going to fork out, I can assure you, far more than you'd fork out here if you're a tourist coming the other way. So I think they want to be fairly realistic in the way they promote the tourism. And one thing I will say that when Board Culture was established to promote the tourism in the Irish Republic, they did a great job, and tourism expanded great, and value for money was superb. We had visitors coming from all over because I come across them when I was young. But then this Tourism Ireland started catering for people in the north, the six counties. Now, they don't do much for us that I'm aware of. So this is our jurisdiction, and I think concentrate on your own jurisdiction and stop diluting what your message is my book. And let the people in the six counties that control it, namely Britain, let them spend money advertising their area and all the rest of it. We have our great advantages here and our great scenery and places of interest. Not talking even about Connemara with the lakes and what we used to call the 12 pins, but they're called bends. We used to call them that. And the mountains. And then in Kerry, the, the tallest mountain, what's this to call the mountains down there? The name I had it when I was down there. We used to call them the
Where is that now?
McGillicuddy Reeks.
Oh, wow, the tallest.
All these lovely names, they'd want to be more widespread promoted. Visit the McGillicuddy Reeks, visit visit Connemara, visit monastic sites, visit the marsh rocks, and have tour guides. They have no guides to do on them and to sort of acquaint you with these things. They'd want to spend a bit of money on that type of thing, to my way of thinking, and take the job serious. And
But
then
you,
have staff in the summertime, especially. It could be students that's interested in that. It could be older folk that's retired that would love the area and have them to show people where the marsh rocks were and the holy wells and all the rest of it. There's a lot to be done rather than and putting in fancy advertisements, spending a fortune for nothing. Concentrate on the basics. And if you do that and encourage hotels and those that are open for visitors to be more competitive and not to try to be fleecing people
this
and
is it.
charging more than what's there.
Well, can I make a suggestion?
Indeed. Huh?
I said, John Malone, can I make a suggestion?
Yeah, go ahead.
So what I think they should do is you mentioned something very valuable there. You mentioned tour guides. And so what I think they should do is
Yeah,
maybe attach a tour guide to a very big and established hotel in each town. Make sure all the tour guides are of the same standard. Okay. So they understand the history,
great.
say, of Kerry. They understand going back 1,000 years, and then they can reveal all this history to these lovely people that are coming to the country.
Correct.
And if you had that in every county,
For example, right, reveal why the marsh rocks were there in the first place
exactly.
because it was as a result of the persecution and the penal times. There's so much that they're not doing. There's no point in having people just gawking at something they don't know the history. So this is where you need tour guides, and you might need also something that people to ascertain in some other way, by way of whatever it is that they can look at that it can be in their language or something like that. Uh, Do things positive in that way. You hit the nail on the head there. This is what they need to do, and why don't they do it? I mean, if
Yeah.
I know that and we know that, surely it's not beyond them or all these experts singing from a different hymn sheet. It's the basics that count. It's feet on the ground and it's guides. Don't call them that. You can give them tour guides and people that have what would I call it, a love for the area. Because if a person is only doing it with lip service, you don't be long finding out that it's just superfluous. They want to have a love for the area that they're in, and they could do a short course. It doesn't have to be a long course. They could do a week's course or something to acquaint them with some of the facts that they might know, so they'll be able to deal with visitors. And wouldn't it be a great asset? For example, when we were in Derry Lane, would grant if there was somebody there as a tour guide to explain things.
It would be absolutely fantastic, you know.
No, you did a lot of work there and you found out a lot, but nobody actually told you.
Nobody told me, so I had to go around and I was photographing a few places, and then I did research the
Exactly.
history, you know.
Yeah.
So
And you
look,
found out a good, yeah,
I did because I've an interest in Irish history, you know, like yourself. So, you know,
correct.
I think look, they could also, like we were talking there about earlier on about the Germans and the Dutch. They say that it's hard to reach Ireland. You know, maybe look at ways that
There's something
to make
wrong
it
with them. I don't believe that old nonsense. It's quite easy to reach the blinking country. Yeah, there's a short distance from they can come by boat from Cherbourg to Ireland. It doesn't cost a fortune. And that type of thing, you have to come over the sea, and it's a bit of an adventure. So you want to portray it in that way, and when they're talking to people, whatever questions they ask, stop talking about whatever the way they question them. First of all, get the positive, forget about the negative. Germans and these ones that more or less had some kind of a complaint. Well, there's no right to adopt that attitude. You go to their countries, it costs you a leg and an arm with price wise. So when they come here, all they have to do is drive a comparably short distance to the boat, and they're well able to drive in their own countries long distance and what have you. And come across it because you won't get a country like this in any place, as far as I'm concerned, with the kind of history that we have and all the great sites, pilgrim sites and monasteries and devil knows what we. So this is what I want to portray and make sure to have people in various tourist areas that are able to deal with the tourists that wherever they're staying, and some of them stay in caravan parks. So adopt a hands-on attitude, so as to sort of give them some of the history of what have you, so that when they go back, they can pass on the news, and others maybe become. That's why you get the growth, but you have to plant it properly. Same as you plant that in the garden, you have to be prudent. And same as with this, you have to do it in the way that they used to do it when Bord Folger was in charge. Folger Ireland is the two involved in the six counties, and it's a different market altogether. It's controlled by the British, so keep their snoot out of it in my book. Let them deal with that and spend a few quid there because they spend a fortune there already. Um, so do that. I think we're on the right track there when we're talking about guides that can spend a week or so to be given the way to operate and the way to treat people and greet them in a friendly way, because that's one of the gifts that we have in this country, a kind of a friendly attitude towards visitors. Most of our people
You
have that
see,
attitude.
the thing is, John,
Uh,
they
you know,
should be doing is right. Okay, if you look at the visitor centres in County Kerry, so if you had a tour guide attached to
yeah,
the visitor centre or attached to the hotel, what you would do is you have 30 people going on a bus, and you bring them into a room for an hour. They watch a video with the guide, slides on a board, and he explains what they're about to see, what they're about to witness, a bit of history. Then the guide goes on the bus with them and brings them to those places, gives them a bit of history because the history gets lost.
It does. And the business and the hotels now, I noticed in Kerry, and I was surprised some of the hotels I stayed in, people were from other jurisdictions and they had absolutely no interest in what we're talking about.
Yeah,
So when you're going to have people that deal with the public, they want to be Irish people,
yeah,
full stop. The same way when you go to another country, say France, you don't expect to have people from other jurisdictions that don't know. You expect French people.
yeah,
And so you can deal with them and all the rest of it and so on and so forth. But this country depends a good bit. Tourism is a great provider of income.
yeah.
And so you better, for that to happen, and it keeps hotels and everything going well. So do it and actually make tourism at every year. Don't just have it for a few months in the summer. Have it every year when it might be cheaper in the autumn or the spring. That type of way.
Yeah.
Try and make it all the year, except of course Christmas is a family time usually. But that type of thing. There's ways of doing it, and if I'm going to try to do a good job in Anthem, I prepare for it and I do my research and then I do what's required. And
Yeah.
the lack of information, I even found it myself, and like trying to get the proper information and all the rest of it, you might be idle. And I found in some places when I was talking to people, they weren't from this country at all. And quite frankly, I don't see much sense in that. You want an Irish person to see in South Ireland, and so as they can get the proper information and then maybe somebody, for example, in Derrynane, to tell you as you went upstairs and all the rest of it about some of the history of it and other things that you have to try and find out for yourself.
That's it, John Malone. I think we've lots of solutions there. It's just for the government to maybe take them on
Yeah,
board.
yeah. Well, we'll be doing more of that when we have our TV station. We won't be sort of we'll be promoting it and in a proper way, and we've done that now. And let's hope that it reaches some ears that are able to take proper steps and
Very,
focus on the Republic of Ireland.
very good.
Number one,
Thank
that's
you
where
very
we
much.
live, and that's where we pay our taxes. Okay,
Thanks
Oliver.
very much,
Thanks very
John.
much.
Thank you.
Cheerio, boy.